metric tons for the same year. The imports fell by about 45,000 metric tons, over 7% year-on-year decline. Yet, it is still higher than the 5-year average of about 560,000 metric tons. The top 5 supplying countries were Niger, Pakistan, Ethiopia, Togo, and Brazil. Their total supply volume to China stands at about 475,000 metric tons, accounting for over 80% of China's total sesame imports in the same period. The supplies from these countries to China have fluctuated sharply this year compared to the same period of last year. For example, we imported over 225,000 metric tons from Niger, about 93,000 metric tons less than the same period of last year, down nearly 30%. Imports from Togo hit about 60,000 metric tons, falling over 37,000 metric tons, or nearly 40% year-on-year. The contrast, Pakistan delivered nearly 77,000 metric tons to China this year, up more than 30,000 metric tons with around 85% of jump. Ethiopia shipped over 68,000 metric tons to China, an increase of over 11,000 metric tons, about 20% year-on-year growth. More than 45,000 metric tons of Brazilian sesame seed arrived in China by the end of this May, a net growth, as Brazil was approved to export sesame to China just last April. In terms of port stock in Qingdao, since the stock reached a monthly historic high last October, they have stayed persistently historically high level due to continuously large-scale arrivals, except for this March, when the stock dropped temporarily below 300,000 metric tons after several months destocking, just slightly lower than the same period of last year. Recently, the port stock in Qingdao has reached more than 370,000 metric tons, approximately 120,000 metric tons more than the same period last year, close to the historic high. Therefore, after short rebounding February and March this year, China's sesame seed market remains relatively weak, and the stock is back close to the historic high, and the U.S.-Iran geopolitical risk eased, and the consumption of season arrived. Market transactions are primarily driven by the processor's rigid demand, and their price-cutting practice becomes the norm. While the speculative activities has declined and the trading activity remains sluggish, the prices rebounded by 100 to 150 US$ per metric ton in this January and February. In January, this February and March this year. However, most of the varieties have erased half of their earlier gains, even more. As you know, sesame market prediction largely depends on the stock change and new crop supply. The stock exchange is closely correlated with import cargo arrivals, but the estimate of the cargo arrivals seems like opening a blind box due to information asymmetry. Regarding new crops, there is some news in our market indicating that planting progress in China's major sesame producing areas have reached approximately 80 to 90%. Due to poor weather conditions last year in these areas, both yield and quality, particularly quality, were heavily affected, resulting lower than expected revenue. So some of our farmers have reduced their planting areas this year. More accurate information is expected to come out early July. As for planting areas and harvest in East Africa, Brazil, and Pakistan, which are the key factors, I think, to the market change in the second half of this year, what I've heard about mostly pointed to reduced output. For example, down by about 30% from Brazil, down about 20% from Pakistan, and harvest in Tanzania and Mozambique has been entering their peak season, and we will see the production results shortly. Should such reduction cuts materialize, I think the prices are set to bounce back once again. Otherwise, the pot stock in Qingdao will still remain at high levels, and the prices will continue to fluctuate at the low levels. All that is the general situation in our market.
Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Hashin. You have very aptly summarized what is the current situation. Nice to hear that one. Consumption so far has been stable. The import trends have been more or less in line with 5-year average, although it is a little lower than last year. Last year was, I would say, an exception. Otherwise, your statistics on country-wise import trends is also really interesting, with Pakistan, Ethiopia, and Brazil increasing the share during the last 5 months in terms of imports at the cost of Niger and Togo. Yes, acreage has been down in Brazil and Pakistan, and we'll have to wait what is the crop likely to be in terms of quantity as well as quality in Tanzania and Mozambique, which are very important at this point in time. Thank you so much. Some basic questions in terms of this high fuel prices, logistic cost increase, and so on and so forth. General impact of that in China, if you have any comments on that. And any of your observation on Sesame for oil crushing purposes in China, if you have any comments, it would be very useful.
Yeah, I have no exact idea about the oil, the field. Yeah. But of course, the consumption for oil, it is almost the major share of our imports, about the 50, even 55, even 60% of the total imports. Yeah, but it is a very traditional consumption and also very healthy. I think the total consumption basically for oil is increasing. I think so. But I don't know exact figure.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, because I think the 40% belongs to the family processors, family size processors. It's difficult to calculate the figures. Yeah.
But based on your experience, you feel oil demand is likely to be robust and continue.
Yeah, I think so. It is anyway. It is a very healthy oil, and just now it's difficult for us to figure out and the accurate the figure. It's difficult because it's most of the family processors. They consume a lot the raw materials.
Okay. One more question from 2025. You have China has imported about 160,000 from Brazil for the first time. Brazil has supplied sesame seed. In our last conversation, you did mention at the last Sesame conference that what will be the acceptance from the Chinese buyers for Brazil has to be seen. Now that we have imported 160,000 in 2025, And this year, up to May, we have imported another 44,000 tons. What is your perception? Like, how has the customers in China accepted Brazilian sesame for their applications in terms of suitability? Because pricing is very attractive.
Last year, as you mentioned, we totally imported about more than 150,000 Brazilian sesame seeds from May. I can say arrival maybe in July, August, and
Yeah.
finally we found the consumption for this part. This is Brazilian sesame seeds and very good, and yeah, people the most of processor can accept it because of the good quality, except for the aroma, of course. Others are very satisfactory in our market. I think this year the people and they already used to this item. They will continue, but that will depend on the price, I think. And the volume can be. I cannot say it will be keep the same size. One reason is Brazil, they cannot supply the same size as last year because of the shortage. And the other side, maybe some people still have some stock, and also they afraid of the cost. And because Pakistan SMCs is coming almost the same period of the Brazilian SMC's arrival in China. They are very fierce competition about these two origins.
That's a very excellent observation. Thank you for that. Ma'am, I want to switch to this China-Africa trade framework, which has come into implementation from the beginning of May. Uh, it's too early to comment, I know, but generally, you have been in this trade. What do you feel would be the impact of that in the sesame sector?
You mean all over the country, the zero tariff
Zero
policy,
duty,
right?
yes. Yeah, zero duty,
Uh,
yes.
yes, I think this news has actually the people understand it a long time ago. And I don't think the results will come out. I mean, more the production will come out because then the major the agriculture countries have already produced enough, and other new origin they need time to familiar this item, especially nowadays the prices is not so attractive to the farmers. I think they have more choices for these new origins. It cannot affect the market immediately. Maybe 1 year or 2 years later, we will see in which country will be suitable for this item. Not all the countries can plant sesame seeds very well. They have some the background like and the weather, the lands, and the labors, something like that.
Right. I also observed in 2026, India has supplied some quantities to China.
Mm.
Uh, any observations on that or any comments on that? Because it's at a very high price. Like, I have the data till Jan to March. It's close to
Mm.
$1,800 per ton. Is it the hulled sesame? Around
No, no.
3,000,
Yeah.
3,800 tons have come in. Is it a
No,
black sesame
no,
or
yes, it's mainly for black sesame seeds.
okay.
Yes, yes. No, no, almost no hard sesame seeds. I think so.
In 2025, how much is the black sesame volume imports into China? Any rough estimates if it is possible?
I think about at least 100,000 metric tons, including Indian black sesame seeds.
Oh, so how is
Yeah.
the growth in that segment, sesame? Is it still a very niche market? Is it growing at uh, double digit, for example,
You mean in the world or in China?
in China only, like that?
In China, I think it is basically in terms of sesame seed. I think all various kinds of the varieties has an increase in demand. And black sesame seeds, I think also the same situation. Just difficult to because the total volume is still very in the small portion of the total consumption. But I believe it is increasing because Chinese believe it is very healthy to very healthy to them. It's a very special usage in the especially in the medical field, not mentioned to the healthy food. But
Excellent.
cannot be the speed means the increasing cannot be same as for the whitish, yeah, because
Okay.
the scope the your using area is relatively limited, but I
And
believe
this,
it's increasing.
excellent. Thank you so much. If the price remains stable, do you see what is the total import for 2026? Do you see last year China imported 146 1.46 million? Uh,
Yeah,
just a
last year
guess.
yeah
Would you be touching
last
the
we
same?
yeah last year we imported really too much than we can consume it. I think and this year logically I think and as we consume the mostly I think and 1.2 million metric tons of imports is enough for Chinese the current consumption. But if the price can be stabilized around the 1,000 to 1,200 US dollar, this lower level, I believe in we will have at least 5 or 10% of increase for consumption year by year. But if the price and then how can I to say this rebounded and encouraged
Yeah.
by some shortage, for example, up to the 1,200 to 1,400 US dollars. I think how can I to say? Of course, meantime we definitely we will. That means we import. We can only import less than last year because no enough supply, right? And
Okay.
I think if everything is going well, I mean, and no serious the shortage and the production cuts from the major producing countries I mentioned, and the same as last year, for example, and I think China will continue import because the price should be lower, and for example, below 1,000 US dollars. Chinese market is so big. If you don't want to buy, other people will involved. Financing cost is very low. I think the imports will continue to be very huge. I cannot imagine what will be. And I hope and the people we can be control our imports volume as possible as we can. Cannot be keep the same size. That will be disaster for the whole market. You see, we still have the so huge stock. Any month, if we imported more than the same period of last year, and the stock will rising. That means nowadays what we imported is really what we can consume.
Got it. You're very clear, actually. What I make out of it is if the price in around 1,200, we should hit about 1.2 million tons as imports into China this year should not be taken as basis because last year was an exception here. And we are continuously running very high stocks as a result of that. Again, having said that one, if the price goes below 1,000, perhaps it could be much, much higher. So that pretty much explains the entire scenario. I understand that you have given us just a half an hour. We have about 2 more minutes or 3 more minutes. I will open up the chat, maybe a couple of questions, if there are any, we will take it from there. But at this point in time, I'm so thankful to you for being here and at such a short notice and explaining what is the current state of China's sesame market, both from the supply side and the demand side. You have very succinctly captured what is the current mood and what can be a possible scenario going forward in 2026. You have also given us some understanding in terms of how the crop is evolving. There are some challenges in the local crop in China, uh, and more clarity on that would emerge by July end, is what I understand from what you have said. So thank you so much, Ms. Hashin, for your presence and perspective on China's sesame market. Please be with us if there is any question, one or two questions shortly, because we have to close this by 2 o'clock, another 3 minutes only, because ma'am has given us only a short period because she had other meetings to go. You have any questions? Yeah. Yeah, Qingdao stock has been addressed. It is 370,000 tons. Any other questions in the chat box at this time? Because she has given all the possible numbers. I don't know how well you prepared. I asked for PPT, but with or without PPT, you have provided all the numbers. Thank you so much for that. Any other questions if you have? Yeah. Yeah. Somebody's asked about your price prediction for the rest of the year. If you want to take, it's optional. If you want to take, you can take it. Otherwise, you can pass. Because I don't want to put you in a kind of a tight situation. I leave it to you.
Depends on the supply from the depends on the supply from the Tanzania, Mozambique, and followed by Pakistan sesame price. This is the supply from Pakistan is more important.
Okay. So yes, it's a function of supply and availability. Would higher stocks put pressure on the price? Because let's say, even if Pakistan crop happens to be lower, because we know that when acreage is down, there are issues. So even if there is some challenges in the supply, given that you have such huge stocks, will that act as a buffer and keep the prices in check?
Pardon?
What is the highest price do you feel it can go in the current situation? Now that you have 370,000 tons as stock.
You mean the current price or the future?
Expected price for the remaining part of 2026, highest.
It's difficult. It's really difficult. I hope it can be it can be stabilizing between the 100 to 1,200 to 1,400 US dollar, something like that. But the highest is difficult to estimate. It depends on the production from this new supply.
Right. Okay.
I don't think the peak I don't think the price will hit the how can I say the previous and the high, the all time the high.
Oh, that
I
is
mean
2000 levels.
no
It will
no
not
I
hit.
mean the last, for example, last year the highest price is I think it is from the Tanzania, Mozambique. At that time, the price higher, maybe over. Oh, Ethiopia. That is about 1,500 US dollars last year. I
Yes.
think it is the if the something happened, because we have the huge stock, it take time to consume. I think if no damage to the crop in Pakistan, I think within this year the price cannot be more than the average price cannot be more than the 1,300 to 1,400 US dollars averagely.
Yeah. Yeah. Let me put this one like.
Even there are some production cuts happened. if not so serious, and the price cannot and the surge more than the range. I mean, and $1,300, $1,400.
Perfect. Just for the listeners, 2024 average import price in China is around 1575. 2025, which is last year, where China imported record 1.46 million, the average price was $1,337. As I understand from Ms. Ashin now, uh, the potential range for the price going forward could be around 1200 to 1400, is what I understand. Pretty much around the same level as 2025, even if there are some shortfalls in some areas. Right. You have exhausted all the questions.
Oh yes, it's very possible. It's very possible like that. If such production cuts just now I mentioned materialized, yeah, I think the price at least can be rebounded back the level of last year, something like that.
Last year average was 1337, and you did mention about Ethiopia. Ethiopia was the highest last year.
Ethiopia, I think,
That
has
is
to follow. Ethiopia and the Sesame has to follow the international market.
markets. Yes.
Seems this year their policy for the currency and for import and the seems the more the is opening. I mean, it's more free. Seems it maybe situation is better, and also their crop is okay. It's better than last year. If they want to export, and they have to follow international market.
Yes.
If
Yes.
the average price is, for example, if the average price is $1,300, I think it's reasonable for Ethiopian sesame seeds, and maybe in the $50 higher than the Tanzania, the premium quality cannot be
Okay.
$100 as before. And of course, the premium quality from Ethiopia for special purpose, it can enjoy the higher, maybe 100, even $150 higher than the average one. But it
Excellent.
cannot represent the general situation.
Excellent. So you had given the differentials also. Tanzania plus 50 should be what Ethiopia should be, except
Mm.
maybe like special varieties, maybe Humera and others could command, depending on how special that is, and buyer's requirement up to $100 premium. One question around black sesame, if you permit, if you still have time. I know we have stretched your time. This could be the last question. Like, you had mentioned 100,000 tons as black sesame. Who are the main suppliers in terms of countries for black sesame? If you can give some indication in terms of volumes from different countries, not this year or last year, generally you can give, so as to get, because we would like to get some understanding about who are the suppliers of black sesame to China.
Myanmar, of course, is the biggest one, the traditional one also. And followed by India. Indian improved a lot these years. Then maybe some of the Asian countries and South Asian countries, they have some, but cannot influence the international market. And followed by the new origin, maybe from the Mozambique and also some of the Central American countries. But it is nowadays we cannot see the trend. But there are some small supplies already emerged.
Any percentage share of Myanmar and India, if it is possible?
I think maybe if we say that more than the 160,000, maybe Indian about I think the 20 or 30%.
And Myanmar?
Yeah, 20 or 30% of our total imports.
That is, India is 20% import, or India and Myanmar together. Like, what is Myanmar would be?
I
Myanmar,
mean the black
what would be,
sesame.
yeah, Myanmar share in black sesame out of 100,000 tons?
You need the volume?
Yeah, volume. What will be the volume of Myanmar?
Myanmar.
Myanmar,
Myanmar is
sorry.
Myanmar at least 100,000 metric tons.
Black sesame.
Yeah, black sesame seeds maybe eight. I think 90% or 80% of the from Myanmar is black sesame seeds. Maybe 800,000 80,000 metric tons from Myanmar.
80,000 from Myanmar, 20,000 from India, and
From India, I have to check for you. The India maybe 20 100 15,000 or 20,000, something like that.
20,500. Okay.
I think
Uh,
less than 20. Last
less
year
than
we imported from India about 16,000 metric tons. I think most of them are black sesame seeds.
16. Okay. So the new
Yeah.
suppliers are basically Mozambique is a new supplier, and some of the South American countries are also supplying black sesame. What else is there?
Yeah, very small portion.
Uh, there is a question from Pakistan. Why is it not China buying 99.95 percentage purity sesame seed from Pakistan?
You mean why we
Don't buy. Why China is not buying from Pakistan this high grades?
if we
90
want to
point.
buy we want to buy the good purity, but maybe that depends on their facilities. Most of them can only supply the 98, and but nowadays it seems in several processes they can supply a higher purity. That
So if
doesn't
they
mean
can,
that we don't want to buy, we want to buy, but they cannot meet our demand. Maybe some of them they can process this pure quality, but the price will be rise, so difficult to sell. I think it's many reasons the limit.
great. Thank you. That's clear. Thank you so much. Thank you. You've been very candid in your answers and very honest. Thank you so much, Ms. Ashin, for your answers. Anything else? Again, a related question again from Pakistan. China does not prefer Sortex sesame from Pakistan. Is there any reason? Uh,
I think it's related with the cost. If you
cost.
can, yeah, some of them they can try if they process the through tax. If they can, maybe some people can buy, but I think that depends on the price because in China, tax the processing has been organized very well and with very cheaper cost. So I think
Okay.
it is related to the cost.
Okay. China can do it at very competitive cost. If Pakistan can match, they can supply. That's what I understand.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. We have exhausted all the questions. Madam Hashin, thank you so much for your time, for your perspective, and for clarifying all the queries from the delegates. Thank you so much. Wish you all the very best. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so
Thank you
much.
very much.
Thank you.
To stay with you.
Thank you so much. To all the delegates who have stayed, thank you so much for your presence. It was really short notice, but we thought it would be very useful to have such a senior trader, most experienced person from China, Sesame Seed, Madam Hashin, to come and share with us her perspective on the China Sesame market. Thank you so much for your presence. We will keep this chat window open for the next 5 minutes so that you can have private chats. As we go, I wanted to turn your attention on World Sesame and Peanut Conference, where we can continue this conversation on Sesame as well as on peanut. across origins and across key consumption markets. Do join us in Vietnam from 30th August to 1st September 2026. The scan code will lead you to the registration page if you have not checked it. Otherwise, you can reach out to sesameconference.com and make your registrations. We would love to see you there, and we would love to engage with you for yet another World Sesame and Peanut Conference. With this, I sign off for the day. Thank you so much for this opportunity. We will keep this chat window open for the next 5 minutes. Thank you.
Can we have the audios and the videos on as well for the next 5-10 minutes?
Audio will be there. Means like, okay, audio and video will be on. Yes, we can.
So anybody has a question for anybody, each other, so people can chit chat.
Yes, Mr. Mukul. Yes, yeah, that can also be there. Usually people prefer one-to-one chat. Both options are open.
Yeah.
People can chat, people can share their views.
So
Yes.
I have a question for the guest here in Pakistan. Could you share what the current stocks would be in Pakistan? Anybody from Pakistan here who can tell us what the holding stocks or carryover stocks right now in Pakistan are?
There's so many from Pakistan. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm Umar Farooq, Global Head Research from Ecom. I'm take care of Sesame from everywhere, not in Pakistan, apart from Pakistan, West Africa, East Africa. So regarding the Pakistan comment, last 5 months are, I would say from August 25 to May 26, Pakistan is exporting around 270 kmt to export all over the world, like mostly is to China. Apart from China, some other countries is there. So regarding the stock, I remember I answered this question in one last session when I quoted that it is around 60 to 80 kmt is available, but with the fragmented stocks. But now the stock is very limited. I would say less than 10,000 or maybe even more.
But I have a question for you. Like, you mean by the end of marketing season for 25, you're saying the stocks can be close to 10 kmt or overall season?
Less than 10 kmt for this season, last season, which we run. Because most of the export from Pakistan is second half of this year. So from January 26 to May 26, around 1,000, not 1,000, 145 kmt is exported from Pakistan. Usually, most of the export happen in the Pakistan during the window between August to January. But this year, because of the shipment coming from Brazil into China, so Pakistan hold a lot of stock in the first half of year, and in the second half of the year, they export everything.
That's a very good perspective.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. That was nice. Similarly, anybody else from Brazil? I know it's early morning, but if you've had your coffee, you can reply us on what's happening in Brazil.
The Nazla is there. I think she's there. What's your question, Mr. Mukul, please?
I just want to know that there's so many news floating around about the crop size in Brazil. What's the actual situation like?
We heard from Ashin's presentation that acreage is down 30%.
Yes.
So we'll start from there.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm sure she has the numbers correctly done. So, Shihin,
Nazla,
are you there?
Nazla has left. Anyone from Brazil? Or anybody has some information on Brazil would like to share? That would be very interesting.
Hi everyone, this is from EST.
Yes, please.
Go ahead.
Yes, so today morning in our Sesame group, I think Mr. Lori, somebody has mentioned 170, 175 for Brazil, the crop size. There was some discussion going on in the morning in Global Sesame group. Mukul, you are there, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's what I wanted to confirm anybody from Brazil because there's so many. I would take Shihin's number.
something similar. I think 2-3 p. Mr. Lori Bruns also was saying something similar figures, and they are saying
We'll
Brazil is strong.
leave it for the next session probably. But one more thing I would like everybody, since I'm sure all of you will join us in Vietnam, do you have any suggestions that we should have a session or some data that you guys require, because it gives us more time to prepare all that? So if you have something, please let Srivastava know about it, and we can do some deep digging into that. That would be
Sure,
nice.
certainly.
Inputs are
Certainly.
always welcome.
Certainly. Yes. Uh, uh, we last year had a closed door meeting to discuss issues around pesticide pesticide residues. Uh, if that will that be like useful? Should we have one more closed door meeting this time?
Yes,
The topic would be different.
we will
The
plan that.
topic.
We'll probably send out feelers to people who want to join closed door, and we can choose from that. So yeah, we'll send out. That should be a good thing about something.
Right, because that was really like, what that session did facilitate is an open conversation, especially from the producers, like, they sought help. They also shared what they are doing in dealing with this issue. So informal conversations on some of these sensitive topics, we would like to handle it through closed door meetings. That's what we found out last time. If there are such issues which can be dealt with using a closed door format, please share with us our email and other addresses and details you all know. So we will certainly look at it, and with experts such as Mr. Mukul, we will try to address them. Thank you.
Thank you.
Sir, for potential for Japan, I would add. So we need to have some expert from Japan. It should be discussed openly, not in closed doors, because now Japan becoming more stricter and more sensitive for the exporters or traders. So I think that should be addressed on openly on a stage, and there should be a presentation by some Japanese representative, I would say, rather than going in closed doors and talk to limited people.
We
Yes,
do have somebody
yes,
from Japan. Yes.
yeah. We have Vitosho confirmed from Japan. Some issues definitely when they present, like we did flag during the open house, like in the conference. But some may be like very specific issues which are related to a country. So we can always decide on where to take up and address this issue. Important thing is that issues get resolved and addressed, and that subject should be discussed. Thank you for your suggestion. Right, we will leave this chat box open for another 5 minutes. Once again, I thank you all. Starting with, I thank the speaker of the day,
Hi,
Madam
can I ask a
Ashin.
question?
To who? Can I?
Yeah, hi, my
Do
name
you
is
want?
Taj Niazi. I'm calling from Pakistan. My company's name is PG Commodities. I was looking to get added into the WhatsApp group you guys were mentioning about the Sesame Global.
Chat, share it with me.
Thank you so much. Your
Yes.
name is Mukul, right?
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you,
Right.
Mukul. Thank you so much.
Thank you. You can continue the chat, and we look forward to seeing you all in Vietnam. Thank you very much for joining this. And again, I thank Madam Hashin for an excellent presentation and a great conversation thereafter addressing the queries of the delegates. Also, thanks to Mr. Mukul and all the participants, all of you. In such a short time, 135 people registered, and at one point in time, we had 102 people joining this. Hope you find it useful. That really encourages us. Thank you very much. The chat will be open for the next 5 minutes. After that, we will close. Thank you. You were so hesitant to come and speak.
这是我的吧？